Today we're digging into a really complex figure, Assata Shakur. Our mission: to look at the source material, specifically these clashing narratives about her life.
Absolutely. You've got the state's view on one side, convicted fugitive terrorist, and then the perspective from the Black Liberation Movement, symbol of resistance, political prisoner.
And it really comes down to the name itself, doesn't it? The state uses Joanne Chesimard, or Byron.
Right. While her chosen name, Assata Shakur, carries specific meanings. She who struggles, love for the people, the thankful one. It's inherently political.
And those politics have had huge lasting consequences. I mean, think about 2013.
Oh, definitely. When the FBI put her on the most wanted terrorists list.
The first woman ever on that list.
Yeah.
That single act just underlines how political this whole thing has remained, especially the U.S. demand for extradition from Cuba.
Which Cuba has consistently refused, yeah.
So let's trace this back. Where did her political consciousness start? The sources mentioned her grandparents' restaurant.
Yeah, back in segregated Wilmington, North Carolina. Working there, seeing a Black-owned business operate, that gave her really concrete understanding of Black economic self-determination. It wasn't theory, it was survival.
Keeping the lights on, basically.
Exactly, a practical foundation for her later political ideas.
And that led her to the Black Panther Party, and then later the Black Liberation Army, the BLA. How different was the BLA?
Well, the BLA tended to be more decentralized, more focused on underground operations and armed self-defense, whereas the BPP had a very public structure, the 10-point program.
Which directly counters that Black supremacist label the state tried to pin on them.
Right. You look at the BPP's platform, it's anti-colonial, anti-capitalist, demands for jobs, housing, ending police brutality, even a UN-supervised vote on their destiny. It's about equality and self-determination.
Not domination. So understanding this context is crucial when we look at her legal troubles.
Definitely, because her repeated arrests and trials, according to these sources, were a direct outcome of COINTELPRO.
The FBI program specifically designed to disrupt and, well, neutralize Black leadership.
Exactly. And look at the pattern. Serious charges, bank robbery, armed robbery kept getting thrown out. Lack of evidence, again and again.
So the process was the punishment. Keep her tie up in court, drain resources.
That seems to be the argument. It wasn't just about getting one conviction initially. It was attrition.
Until the New Jersey Turnpike incident in '73, that changed everything.
It did. That shootout led to the death of State Trooper Verner Forster and her comrade, Zaid Shakur. And after years of failing to make other charges stick, the state really needed a conviction here.
Okay, but the evidence. The sources mentioned a major contradiction.
Right. The physical evidence, specifically the bullet wounds she sustained. The argument presented by her defense, and noted in several sources, is that the wounds suggest she was shot with her hands raised, surrendering.
But she was convicted of murder in '77 by an all-white jury. How did the prosecution manage that if the physical evidence was so contested?
Well, the counter-narrative suggests it became a politically necessary outcome for the state. Despite the evidence suggesting she couldn't have fired the fatal shots, the conviction stood. And it's that murder conviction, contested as it is, that the FBI points to for the terrorist designation later on.
So after serving about 2 years, she escapes prison in 1979.
An escape framed by her supporters as an act of revolutionary solidarity.
And she eventually surfaces in Cuba, receiving political asylum in 1984.
With Fidel Castro himself defending her as a political prisoner, not a common criminal.
Her influence really solidified with her autobiography, Assata,
which is now seen as a key text in foundational Black American writing, really centers that specific experience. And you see the legacy continue, even in mainstream culture, through her stepnephew.
Tupca Shakur, whose mother, Afeni, was also a prominent Panther.
Right, the connections run deep.
So Assata Shakur remained this potent international symbol, advocating for Black solidarity and self-determination right up until her passing in 2025. What's the takeaway here for you listening?
Well, her life really serves as a case study. You see the systemic efforts to criminalize Black activism contrasting sharply with the liberation movement's goals. The FBI says terrorist, the movement says freedom fighter.
It forces you to confront those definitions.
And it leads to a final thought, something Assata herself emphasized. She believed real peace wasn't possible without social, political, and economic justice. She drew a line between countries rich in just material wealth and those rich in human, spiritual, and moral wealth.
So the question she leaves us with, perhaps, is about that distinction. What's the difference between mere stability or control and actual lived freedom? Something to think about.